I'm Cole, and we are your hosts for the Mini Mike's podcast, where we're going to have some guests, some great conversations, and a few laughs here and there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about food most of the time, actually, because I'm hungry all the time.
I was thinking we were going to talk about faith and in Jesus and life, but
I mean, yeah, too.
those things have a lot to do with food because
Yeah,
Jesus is the bread of life.
exactly. So we can lean into the food, Jesus, bread.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So I hope that you enjoy this podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because that helps us share it on your Instagram stories. We want people to just know about Jesus, and we're going to definitely
Mhm.
talk about him. And we want people to know that there are other people out there that are
Mhm.
just in the same season, working through stuff, trying to figure out life,
Yep.
and don't have to be alone. So
Mhm.
hope that you enjoy these episodes.
Bye.
Well, this is when we continue the episode.
Oh, hi.
You want to see something funny?
Yeah.
Let me see your phone. Mine's up there.
Oh gosh, yeah. I have to
Well, you
unlock
have
it.
to unlock. Yeah, because I can't do anything with it if it's
Right.
not unlocked. So we're just gonna go to Instagram and look through your DMs, and that's gonna be funny. Just kidding.
Okay. No
Um,
idea. I don't really DM people.
that's cool.
I'd have a friend who has really funny DMs.
So there was
You know who
we
you
were
are.
talking about Jesus being the bread of life, and it made me think of this church that or like it was like a YWAM based like a worship thing like Harp and Bowl. Did you see this video?
No. Wait, what?
It's just a worship moment, and so they basically just started singing that
Okay.
because Jesus is the bread of life. So they were
Yeah.
talking about Jesus, you're so really good, you're really good, you're really good bread. You're like, and I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, I don't know if you just wouldn't. This wouldn't be the first thing I started singing in a moment like that.
Absolutely not.
But then there's this meme account got a hold of it, and
God.
they go, takes one bite of Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster, right? Really, 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 really good bread. And then there's another one.
Oh god.
There's another one.
Nothing's safe when a meme account gets a hold of
My
it.
brain cell's trying to convince me why I should eat at Olive Garden after church.
That is so true. Yep.
Right? So I'm
Yeah.
just thinking like it's prophetic that if you think you should go to Red Lobster or
Or
Olive Garden or Jimmy John's, like if you're just looking for really good bread, this
it's
is
your sign.
your sign to go get some good physical bread, and then of course to
Yeah.
consume a little bit of
Maybe you
Jesus
could
too.
like bring your Bible with you and then you could hey guys, have you heard the gospel? Come talk with me as I eat bread. You
Yeah,
have
you know
share
where else
bread.
has good bread is Panera. Solid bread,
Yeah. Yeah.
like their bread bowl.
I haven't had a Red Bull, but I like to take like my
You
soup.
haven't had their bread bowl.
No, I'm sorry. I
We're gonna
haven't.
record a podcast at Panera, just so Stella
We
eats the
should.
bread bowl for the podcast.
I'm just eating the bread bowl during the
Yeah,
whole entire
I'm
thing.
gonna feel really bad. I don't watch podcasts on YouTube.
I don't either. That's because I'm like always driving when I listen to them.
Yeah, but you're gonna want to be watching this podcast. I just feel like if you're not watching it, you're missing out. You would have missed like me spilling coffee on myself.
Yeah.
The potential of Stella eating bread from Panera on a
I love
podcast.
bread. I love bread so much. I love pasta. I love carbs. That's what I love.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm more of coffee and protein guy, but that's cool.
No, I love pasta.
And
I love,
almond milk.
I love the carbs and almond milk. I had almond milk in my pumpkin spice latte because I had 2 days where I thought I was allergic to dairy. So I got a almond milk in my pumpkin spice latte. It was not good. It was
No,
so bad. I think it was because it was like the nuttiness of the almond with. Okay.
promise it wasn't a gun. It was just a balloon.
Yeah. No, that was a balloon. And then the nuttiness of the almond and then the pumpkin spice latte didn't mix. It was awful.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. Never
Officially
again.
the worst thing I've heard of.
I know. Exactly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
One thing I'm really excited about this podcast for is some of the guests that we're going to be having.
Me too, actually.
What are we looking for? Like when we're going to try to like bring a guest onto the show, we
Mhm.
want obviously to add value to our listeners to make the
Mhm.
conversation more exciting. What are we looking for
And people?
in guests? Like who are we going to bring on?
I would definitely say people who not just like have inspirational stories, but like have um I can't think of the word. Uh that they have character
Yeah.
that can just like really they can just talk about what we're like communication, like easily communicate, and then they have like really good character that other people can relate to.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
understand.
That's cool.
So like if you're just sitting here and you're just like answering questions and you're just like, yeah, sure,
It's not helpful.
we want you to be authentic here.
Yeah.
Be who you are. Good character. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good. That
Yeah.
sounds good. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's
Uh huh.
like you have to have a cool like we want you to have a cool story or
Yeah.
two. I mean, like whether that just be like
Mhm.
normal thing or like God dropped you out of an airplane to like minister in Africa, like whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Whether it was that or you just like
Yeah.
talked to some kid on the school bus and it was cool.
Yeah.
I don't really care, but that like you live that out every day and it's not just like a
Mhm.
one-time thing
Yeah.
that you got lucky and got to jump out of an airplane.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I would way rather jump out of an airplane than go bungee jumping.
I don't want to ever fall. I have this fear of falling. I've had those. You ever have those
I
dreams
do.
where you're falling?
Yes.
Yes. No, I can't fall anymore. I'm done. I've had enough dreams of falling. I don't need to fall.
I don't. I I feel like the reason why is because once I'm in the airplane, there's no going back. I just have to do it.
Yeah. I just don't want to fall.
Oh,
It's okay.
okay. I'm sorry.
So you could just land the plane. It would be good.
Right. Right. God's still there for you, and God and has you. You just have to realize it.
Sure. Let's do that.
And what's your question first? First
Oh, my
question.
question was
Yeah.
basically just that. Like, what, like,
How's it?
Stella, would you just share with our listeners, like, what the vision is for this podcast, the why, the
Mhm.
reason why, like, they should take time to listen to it?
I feel like because just especially like when I thought of this, my heart was more for kids that like my thing just came undone. Yeah. My
It's okay.
my heart was more for like because I grew up in the church. Like that I just grew up in the church. Like I've always been a Christian in my life, but my heart has really been for the kids that like didn't have that, like didn't really have like the privilege to have access to that during like growing up, and they're like trying to like figure this out now or like just figuring out like how to be a Christian, like how do I do this now?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess my heart was just like, or like kids who were even like struggling with like, I want to be a Christian, but then like because of X, Y, and Z, I don't know like if I can, like how. If that makes sense.
Sure.
And so yeah, my heart was just for people that like they go to church on Sunday and Wednesday, but they don't feel like they have more time or anything, and just it can be more Jesus of the week to them and help them and just like because not because like it's hard like if you have a busy schedule to like make time, but like you can make time, but sometimes it's hard. But I just want to be like just really like people like just to be something that people can relate to and understand.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, I love it. I think I've wanted to do a podcast for a while before
Yeah.
you reached out and wanted to start one, and I was just thinking, um, I couldn't do it on my own, so I was like so glad
Hmm.
that someone finally said like, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and I was like, "Yes." I just love the idea of being able to insert into
Mhm.
like wherever people are at.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
something that I feel like I've really wanted to do now
Mhm.
recently. So I actually started like an ROL Youth Discord server for all of
I
our
saw that.
gamer students.
Yeah, I saw that and I
Um,
was like, nope.
gamer or not gamer, I don't care, bro. Just jump on the Discord. It's super fun.
I don't know how to
Um,
do any of that.
and then we're
So
gonna do like Fortnite like tournaments and we'll play different games together, like whatever. It's just an opportunity to connect. Cause
yeah.
like here's the thing, like people are playing video games, cool. So
Mhm.
I could say like, oh, go read your Bible or come to Bible study, or I could be like, oh, I'm gonna play video games too, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like, hey, where are you at? Are you reading the Bible?
Yeah.
Like
Like where
where's
you at
God
right
got you?
now?
What are you growing in? Like
Yeah.
where are you at?
Exactly.
And I think that that's a big part of
Mhm.
um like that people miss out on,
Mhm.
like the church just doesn't do because they're like
Mhm.
that's too hard or that's
Yeah.
too much or like that's not a space that we talk about, and I was
Yeah.
like no, like what's up, Jesus is involved in everything. Like if we
Mhm.
actually believe that, then like
Yeah.
let's create spaces in
Mhm.
places
That like
where students
you
and
wouldn't
people
find
hang
it.
out, and we can bring unity and Jesus into those
Mhm.
spaces, and it's been super cool. Like it's been going for a week now and we've already had some fun games and
Oh really?
cool talks. Yeah,
Oh yeah. No, I don't. I
there's only
don't.
like 15 people on it, so if you have Discord, join the server. I'll link it in the description of the podcast. Otherwise, you can always find it on our social media.
Yeah. I don't do Fortnite, but if I did, I'd probably be on
You can.
it.
It's
Mhm.
free.
I know. I just have a hard time with communicating what my brain thinks I should do with my controller. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
don't.
So athletic people
Can't
are
do it.
better at video games. Is that what you're saying?
No, I used to be athletic. Not anymore though.
Used to be athletic.
I used to be athletic. For 6 years, I was athletic, but not anymore. I mean, I probably still could be, but
And you probably could play Fortnite. So
yeah, I probably could.
that would be fun. Um, cool. What else do you
Hmm.
have for us?
Yeah, so I want to talk about every time I like. This is not the idea that I had for this podcast, or not. No, this wasn't the idea that I had for like this specific pod, like day one. I was trying to think of like having community with people and like how do you find people, but every time I would try and think about that, it just wouldn't it wouldn't form
Yeah.
words,
Yeah.
and I kept going back to this my semester with school, and it was really stressful this year. Like it was like something about stress about school. I feel like is just different. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's just it's just different. And I never had that amount of stress to experience with school before, so this was like my first time figuring out how to deal with it.
Hmm.
And because I'm doing PSEO, which is post secondary education options. Basically, you can take college classes for credits, college credits in high school. And I'm homeschooled, so I had all the time in the world to do it. But I had to time manage between church and work and getting all this homework done. And it was super, I don't know why I keep turning this off. And it was super stressful because I just didn't know how to do it. And it was way harder than high school classes. At least for me, it was way harder.
Hmm.
And it just kind of felt like I was drowning and I could barely keep my head out of the water basically. Um and I got into this mindset, almost like the survival mindset of I have to get it done. It doesn't matter. I just have to get it done, no matter how much sleep I get or what's going on. And
Sure.
my friends and my parents noticed this. They noticed that I was not doing well. I was super stressed out, and at home, I would probably have at least two mental breakdowns a week. Had multiple in a day, which shouldn't happen. That's not healthy. Um, but I just didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
And because I was experiencing these humanly issues, if that makes sense, these worldly humanly issues, my first thought wasn't to go to something that isn't humanly or worldly, if that makes
Oh, dang.
sense. Like when you have humanly issues and worldly things that you have to deal with, you want to go to humanly and worldly fixes because
Hmm. Like you cope. Like
you
you
cope.
want to
You
cope
cope with things that you
like
can do.
tangible things.
Yes,
Like I want to drink more Starbucks
exactly.
or like watch more TV or like
Yeah,
whatever, right?
do other things exactly. So when you go through those things, it was I was experiencing this worldly thing, so it was hard for me to go to someone like God, um, not not a human, so it was hard for me to register that
Yeah.
and it's just that's something that I still need to work on is God being the first person I go to.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to just for him to be the first person that I went to. And even when you're dealing with more things like depression, mental illnesses, loneliness, bitterness, unforgiveness, whatever you're dealing with, and it's the more you let it consume you, the more you begin to deteriorate, I
Hmm.
feel as a person
Sure.
mentally. And and then you want, because you're dealing with these worldly issues, you want to go to worldly fixes.
Yeah.
And it's once you go to these worldly fixes, then it's kind of this steep slide
Hmm.
down. And then once you kind of get down there, then it's easier for you to go into more sinful things as well, because you're looking for something to fix it and make you feel better.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want freedom from this like pit that you might find yourself in, no matter what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
um in our I feel in our heart of hearts, we know that we want freedom from these worldly things, but it's hard to know what gives us freedom. It's
Hmm.
hard to understand that.
Hmm.
And that was something that I had to kind of go through, was just I really had to give it all to God.
Yeah.
Because when we turn our back from God and then we kind of walk towards um these worldly things, just not even just fixing it ourselves,
Hmm.
when we walk towards those kinds of things, even just pride,
Hmm.
I can do it myself, it's fine, I can get through this, or I don't need anyone else. there's like a regression of faith, I think, that happens when you
Yeah.
walk away from God and
Yeah.
you turn your back on him, and like you go to any like literally anything else to make you feel better or to fix it or just like anything like that, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And it's just like an ugly cycle,
Yeah.
I feel like, because then it
Yeah.
becomes easier to go to these things.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like it becomes like a regression of faith, and like deep in our hearts we need freedom from whatever ache that we're feeling.
Mhm.
And I feel like just like yeah, like when I was like this semester when I was dealing with this, like I was just like I just wanted to get away from it. Like when we would go on like we went to NYC.
Mhm.
It
You brought homework.
no, I almost did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you
Uh
she like asked to bring
I
homework to
asked to bring
MIC
homework,
because you're
but then
not
I
supposed to bring like screens or devices or
yeah,
whatever. She was like, "Can I bring
bring
my
homework.
homework?"
Yeah, exactly. But I'm
Like,
so glad
seriously?
I'm so glad I did, but also like I'm so glad I didn't bring it, but also like I should have time managed more. But like
Sure.
once I got away from the trigger of this stress,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel amazing. This is like I feel so free, and like I don't have to deal with it because I was away from that. Like
Yeah, and
physically, I was drawn
you
away
like
from it.
couldn't do it even if you like wanted to
Exactly.
because you were 2 hours
Exactly.
away or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it was like a slap in the face when I got back and I had to deal with it again. And then I was like, oh, it's not gone. It was just gone
Dang.
for 2 days.
Yeah. That's so good.
And
That
yeah,
feeling like that there's like so much um similarities between that and like our sin nature and just
yeah,
like when we try to escape it and even like
yeah.
like things distractions they provide an opportunity for escape,
Mhm.
but it's all temporary, and
Yeah,
as soon as it starts to fade away then you get that slap in the face like, oh hey,
yeah.
look, your
Like,
problems are
hey,
still
look,
here.
yeah, I'm
um
still here.
it reminds me, I'm reading a book right now. Shout out Pastor Manny Arango. The book is called Brainwashed,
Mhm.
and it was an inspiration for a sermon I did
Mhm.
recently. But also, the second chapter, he talks about something like this. He talks
Mhm.
about how Adam and Eve made clothes for themselves,
Mhm.
and God had to ask them to take those clothes off in
Yeah.
order to put on the skin of the animal clothes that God made for them to cover
Oh,
their nakedness. So they ate
yeah.
from the tree. They realized they were naked. They made
Yeah.
their own clothes, their own
Mhm.
coverings, their own thing out of fig leaves.
Mhm.
And when God found them, he was like, "Oh, I need you to take that off and lay it down
Mhm.
so that I can cover you with
Yeah.
what I have for you."
Yeah, exactly.
And so often that's what we do to God. We go like,
Mhm.
I want your covering, but I also want my stuff.
Yeah.
I want your covering, but I also want like,
I want to still do it
yeah, I
myself.
still want my
Uh-huh.
distractions, and then you can just give me a little extra on the side.
Yeah.
But he's asking us to literally lay it all down so that
Uh-huh.
he can cover us fully.
Yeah, like in a sense it's still what you want. I'm still covered, but it's in the way that I want to do it.
Exactly. And
Uh-huh.
we have to be willing to, and really what it is
Mhm.
like willing to be naked before God again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are all my problems. This is everything I'm going through.
Mhm.
I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to hide anything from you. I mean, obviously we know we can't, but like we
Mhm.
try to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to hide anything from you. I'm just laying it all down. He goes, okay, here you go. Like, here's the blood of Jesus
Mhm.
covering everything, making you feel whole, peace, freedom, joy. But
Yeah.
so often we're like, I want that, but I'm
Mhm.
not going to
But
lay it down.
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lay down my
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like because when we still we're like, yeah, like God, you can take care of this, but I'm going to keep a little bit of this for me. We don't experience that freedom because we're still holding on to this little piece.
Yeah.
And like God will chase us to like literally the ends of the earth because he loves us and he wants the best for us. And he's always there for us, but we just have to lay it all down to him, and
Hmm.
we can't like it can't be like you don't have to make it in like a little pristine little box with a bow wrapped around it and then give it to him. Like no, he wants your mess. He wants
Hmm.
the chaos you're experiencing because the burdens that you have aren't your own that you have to deal with. God wants you to give them to him so you can experience the freedom that he wants for you. And that's like what I had to go through was I was like, I have to get this to God, but like I don't want to because I want to do this myself.
Hmm.
And I think once we realize that God truly is like we're never too far gone no matter what we're going through. Like we're never like, oh yeah, like that's like God is never like that's too much for me to handle, so you can just take care of it.
Yeah.
Like he wants to take all of it. So we have to realize that he truly does want the best for us and he wants us to hand over everything that we're going through to him. And then I feel like when we do that, then it becomes easier for us to turn back around and realize, oh yeah, God does have us. Like he will take care of us.
That's good.
And I feel like 9 times out of 10, he probably isn't going to be changing your situation, but he will change your attitude, your perspective, and your heart towards your situation. Because then once you allow him to change your heart and your attitude towards whatever it is, then it will feel like your situation has changed
Hmm.
because you have a different view on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Hmm.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll pick you up out of something
I
and be
mean,
like,
yeah, that
"You're
is
free. You're
true.
good." But then other times, yeah, it's the journey and the battle of
Hmm. Yeah.
not. He's like basically saying like, "Okay, now that you're done trying to do this on your own,
Hmm.
let me show you how I can do it with you."
Exactly. Let me show
And
you what
then
it's like.
it's like, "Oh wait, this really
Hmm.
isn't as bad as I thought it was because I have this like amazing
Yeah.
friend and protector and
Yeah.
strength right alongside me, like
Hmm.
inside me, helping me go through all this stuff."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. On a Sunday, I really can't remember what Pastor Dave was talking about, honestly, but it was something about like handing it over to God.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking about like the stress that I was going through and like the fear of being a failure and honestly feeling like I was a failure. And he had like an altar call moment and I was like, okay. So I went up and I was just like, I can't, I'm sick of this. I literally cannot do this anymore. I'm so sick of dealing with this. I'm so sick of feeling like this constantly. And I just like opened my hands and I was like, God, like please take this from me. Like I don't want to carry this burden anymore. I can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
Like I myself mentally am deteriorating because I'm feeling like this.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can carry this on my own, but I can't. And so I gave it all to him and then I noticed my perspective would change. Like the things that would normally stress me out didn't. And like I was able to like get through like every week like homework and just like living life. Like it wasn't stressful for me. I wasn't having 4 mental breakdowns a week. Like it was okay. Like I got it. And like,
Hmm.
oh gosh. Anyway. And like even like my friends noticed, like I said something, I was like, I don't know what I said, but then my friend was like, it's okay, like it's gonna be okay, like don't worry about it, like you're gonna be okay, like you can get through this. And I was like, I'm not stressed out about it, like it's okay. And they were like, oh, you're not? And I was like, no, like I'm okay, like that's I'm not worried about that. And they were like, oh, like that's awesome, like because they
Yeah.
noticed how
They saw
much
the shift. Yeah.
they noticed how like how honestly how terrible I was doing with it. And then they like me saying I wasn't stressed out, they were like, oh wow, like, that's amazing.
That's so cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's like really when you know.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you can know for
Hmm.
yourself,
You
but
can
then
know in your
when
heart.
other people start to go like,
Hmm.
"Whoa, you're what? Like what's going on?"
Yeah.
Then you're like, "Yes, something happened.
Yes.
Like victory."
Uh-huh. Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, there's a segment I want to do in this podcast.
Okay.
It's inspired by one of my favorite podcasts, the Theos U Memes podcast.
Okay.
Um, and it's called A Bone to Pick.
Oh gosh.
And we have to both have a bone to pick, and then we'll ask our guests to have one. So basically,
Okay.
like a bone to pick with something in pop culture or like life in general. So I'll go
Mhm.
first, let
Okay.
you think about it.
Okay.
My bone to pick is with tiny parking lots.
Okay.
Okay, like why did they put a Starbucks, T-Mobile, and Lian Chin in Elk River all in this little itty bitty parking lot,
Uh-huh.
so that all of a sudden I'm pulling up on a Sunday morning, got to get to church, like there is 12 cars in the line for
Mhm.
the drive-through, and I'm like running over the curbs to try to get around people that just like yeah. There's a parking lot across the street, like for Cub or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Empty. The whole thing is concrete, pavement,
Empty.
whatever. It's empty. And
Mhm.
here we are trying to drive around these poorly shaped medians with too many cars in the
Uh-huh.
drive through. That's my bone to pick. Small parking
So
lots.
wait,
Why?
it can be with anything?
Dude, anything, yeah. I mean, we're not gonna pick on people, obviously, but
Oh, dang.
like please don't pick on Joe Biden or Trump or
No.
like something stupid like that.
My
But
bone to pick is with trucks.
okay.
Don't trucks. Truck drivers? No. Just
This is offensive.
stay away from me.
Why? Because you're bad at driving around?
No. Just like trucks and like just like truck like the really big.
Like pickup trucks?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so like the guys that from our youth church that are watching this,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
three of them that have
Yeah,
their own trucks.
exactly. Just like just of like it makes me angry because okay, I have an Infinity and it's a smaller car. It's not like tiny one, but
It's little.
it's
She has
little.
a little four-door sedan.
It's a little. It's a little. His name's Finney. Anyone? cares? It's a silver infinity. Shout out to Finny, love of my life. Anyway, just yeah, that's my vote to
So, but
pick.
why? Like you.
Because I'm like, I first of all, I'm scared that they're gonna run me over,
Mhm.
and I'm also like, I feel like they own the road. They act like they own the
They
road.
feel like they own the
Uh
road.
huh.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I'm like,
So I drove a
they don't.
truck.
Yeah.
Like starting at 16, my dad had a
Yeah.
truck that he didn't drive because he drove a
Mhm.
work truck. It
Mhm.
was a F-350,
Yeah.
long box,
Mhm.
big diesel.
Yeah.
Like it was a big truck.
Yeah.
And I loved it because
Mhm.
literally everyone moved out of the way.
Yeah.
It
That's why I
literally
hate it.
it
That's
literally
exactly why I
felt
hate
like you
it.
were driving a chariot through a crowd of people and like everyone just went woo and you were just like good.
Yeah. That's why I hate
It
it.
was amazing.
I'm like,
And
just
then I got behind a car, like a car,
yeah.
because my next car, the one I bought was like a little Volkswagen, like
Yeah.
wagon,
Yeah.
so it was like a hatchback,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like they don't. It's like people don't see you. It's like okay, I'm driving a truck, and they're like, oh, look out for the big black truck, and
Yeah.
then you're
It's like,
driving the little like blue car, and it's like, yeah,
yeah. That's exactly why I don't like it. Cause
I'll
I'm
yield,
like,
I guess.
oh, I guess. Like,
Like I have the right of way, but you know what? Go ahead.
go ahead. No, that's why I don't like truck drivers. Cause I'm like, just because you have a big truck or car doesn't mean that you own the road. Like it, the like not like the pride, but like the audacity that the person who drives the truck thinks that they have because they're driving this makes
Maybe,
me
but what I'm
angry.
saying is maybe it's your mentality because mine was not like I'm gonna run people over. It was just they just got out of the way.
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
you
just
just need to
like,
be a little bit more assertive in your Finny.
it's hard. I can go fast and finny. I can go really fast and finny. That's what I like about
What's
it.
your top speed so far?
That I've gone.
Yeah,
Well, okay, so
tell it to the world.
my dad has a thing on his phone. I think he still has it, but I'm scared
I mean, Life
if he
360
does
tells
that.
people your speed
I
too.
don't have Life
Oh,
360.
praise God.
Yeah.
I for those of you that do, it's chill. But like, as soon as I was 18, I was like, sorry, mommy, I don't want you to know how fast I'm driving.
Sorry, mom. No, he used to have this like app or something connected to the Infinity that would alert him if the car went over 80.
Hmm.
So, but like,
So 79.
no, I've definitely accidentally gone 80, but I haven't gone above that just because I'm scared if he does that and I get home and they're like, "Why are you going 80?" And I was like, "Well,
So you would go faster?
mm, I would go fast smartly. I speed smartly. If that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense, but that's
I
cool.
think it does. But like, yeah,
So is we need to totally wrap this up. But is
yeah.
driving over the speed limit a sin?
To the law,
What?
I don't know.
Like, so
That's a really good
I
question.
mean, like, not wearing a seat buckle while you're driving is that a sin?
I don't think it's necessarily a sin. I think God wants you to be safe.
But
So,
it is a law, so like
yeah,
you could get in trouble.
yeah.
So like parking in the wrong spot is a sin.
What is?
I don't know. These are questions.
Oh, like
I'm not making a
what?
statement. Like, so
Uh
that's what I'm
huh.
saying. Like, driving over the speed limit,
Yeah.
parking, like,
So, I don't know. I feel like because what I feel like a sin is something that goes against God Himself and His character. If that makes sense, not character, but characteristics.
okay.
And I don't.
We're gonna unpack this one sometime in the future.
Oh gosh.
I think we should get a guest on here, like Pastor Dave or someone, and ask him that question.
I think we should. I feel like he wouldn't even know what to say.
He speeds all the time, so he's gonna say no.
That's
But
true.
I like actually want to. I like I've thought
I
about
know
it. So
someone
I
else who
like
speeds all
I'm
the
the five
time.
over guy, like always driving 5 over.
Oh, same. I am
Yeah,
too.
everyone is probably right because
Mhm.
if you're not going 70 and a 65, like you're going
Mhm.
too slow.
Mhm.
Um, is that sinful? Do I need to repent?
I don't know. I feel like it's
Like,
the
why do I
intention
even?
you have behind it.
My intention is like stupid. Like, I
I
just want to
want.
go fast.
I just want to go. I like going fast. I grew up watching Fast and Furious with my family, so that's like.
I grew up watching this like rated R movie.
It's PG-13 and it's fine.
Okay,
And it all went to not good after movie 5. After movie 5, it all sucks.
okay. I honestly don't know
Mm,
that I've seen all of them, so
you should. We're good. Mhm.
not after 5 though.
Not after 5. Just stop at 5. Because that's like the last one when it was really all about cars. Now it's all like family and the CIA and like I don't know.
Dope. Let's rob a bank
That's what they do
or a
in
vault.
5. That's what they do in number 5.
Yeah.
Spoiler, just in case.
Sorry if you haven't seen the movie that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
About
we'll
10
land
years
the
ago.
plane here. This has
Yeah.
been the Youth Mini Mike podcast for all of our youth friends and fam.
Mhm.
Hope that you enjoyed it. This
Yeah.
is Cole signing off.
Stella with my Alani signing off. Should I bring one every week?
No.
Oh, I think I should. Okay. I think I should bring one every week. That could be like.